I love Lego. To those who know me, that's probably a bit of an understatement. I've amassed a pretty decent sized collection over the past few years, and one of my absolute favourite sets has been the Horizon Tallneck. An intricate set that I actually built on the channel. It was the first foray into a PlayStation franchise for the toy makers, and it was absolutely superb. About a year ago, rumours started flying that there was another LEGO Horizon project on the go. When it turned out to be an actual video game, it definitely raised a few eyebrows. Well, it's here, but is it any good? And first things first, this isn't a full-on throwback to the Traveller's Tales games of old. This is Guerrilla, along with Studio Gobo putting their own spin on a LEGO title, with their own franchise and a whole lot of love for both elements. Story-wise, it's essentially a loose retelling of Horizon Zero Dawn. It's very toned down, with less of an emphasis on the whole world-ending side of things, and it's very heavily skewed towards a younger audience. Ashley Birch reprises the role of Aloy, and other characters also keep their original voice actors, with the notable exception of the late Lance Reddick. It helps keep the theme of the original games tied nicely into this retelling, and mixed up with a typical LEGO sense of humour, with plenty of pratfalls, fun references and absurd moments that sit nicely alongside the story beats that help it move along at a decent enough clip. Helis makes his return in minifigure form and follows the LEGO villain playbook to a T, being both delightfully unhinged and cripplingly insecure all at once. The big bad of the piece has been rechristened and has been given a suitably family-friendly overhaul as well. In terms of gameplay, it follows a pretty steady formula throughout its 6-ish hour runtime. Aloy and friends head to one of 4 biomes and fight a bunch of intricately designed LEGO versions of the machines from Zero Dawn, forming the short adventures that feature in the game's title. These last anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes or so, with 5 of them in each biome. There are 4 main playable characters, each with unique weapons. Aloy obviously has her bow, Val has a spear which can pass through enemies, Erend has a big hammer, and Teersa has a series of small bombs that she throws at whatever stands in her way. These are supplemented by power weapons which you can get which have elemental impacts on them, or I think one of Teersa's is actually a big shark that swims underneath and hits enemies from underneath the ground, which is just mad. It's a nice way to introduce a bit of variety into the mix, and one that plays well with the co-op play in the game. Both local and online co-op is possible here, allowing you and a pal to pick up and play wherever you want. And honestly, that's kind of it. The problem with a game that follows a formula this strictly is that it will eventually get a bit repetitive. It's not helped with the way we play games for review, which is essentially mainline them in a shorter time than normal. With the story of Zero Dawn being condensed into a much shorter game, the formula of jump into area, hit square until everything is dead, pick up reward, go back and repeat becomes quite obvious quite quickly. However, it's important to remember here that the target audience is kids, and even with the limited combat, it still does feel fun to play as the game goes on. This is helped with a variety of special weapons and gadgets, as mentioned, that add elemental attacks similar to the main games, and these actually allow you to deal some pretty impressive damage numbers onto your enemies. The game has actual character progression, although quite rudimentary. You gain XP as you beat machines and cultists, which unlocks upgrades for the characters as you progress. Obviously you can collect studs, which you spend on upgrades, outfits and decorations for Mother's Heart, which acts as kind of a home base. And there are also a ton of additional mini-quests which will earn you all gold bricks to unlock yet more goodies. There are quality and performance modes available here as well. Whether that's something that's necessary in a title like this is probably up for debate, but quality mode does offer a little bit of a sharper image, with the trade-off being 30 frames a second gameplay. Performance mode runs at a steady and solid 60 on the base PS5, with no dips or drops noted at any point. Regardless of which mode you play in though, you'll definitely have plenty of visuals to gorge on. Every surface glistens with a plastic sheen, subtle imperfections dotted around the characters and environments. This is probably the best looking LEGO game that I've ever seen, barring maybe Builder's Journey with everything cranked up. Stepping into a cauldron is a genuine treat, with every aspect of the real Horizon games being crafted out of Denmark's finest bricks. I think the biggest thing that struck me with LEGO Horizon Adventures is that this is first and foremost a LEGO game. And that sounds like an odd statement to make, but hear me out. Older games used the franchise first and tried to kind of shoehorn LEGO around it. Horizon Adventures developers actually visited the LEGO campus in Billund in Denmark to plan out the entire game, and they claim that everything in the game was built from scratch with actual bricks. And that checks out. If you had the time, and more importantly the budget, you could recreate everything in the game with physical LEGO. The vast majority of the customization options and additional costumes are brought in from other LEGO franchises like Ninjago, LEGO City, and a whole section themed around an amusement park. Some of the buildings in the Sacred Lands are actual LEGO sets, like last year's Jazz Club modular building, and there are even some references to the LEGO house in Billund, if you know what to look for. It left me longing for two things more than anything else when I beat the main boss and returned to Mother's Heart. Firstly, a sequel to LEGO Dimensions. Horizon LEGO Adventures truly feels like a spiritual successor to the franchise-hopping Toys to Life game that threatened to empty my wallet a few years ago. And it definitely feels a lot more grown up than a lot of the TT games from back in the day. The second thing I came away wanting from the game is, quite simply, more physical sets based on these machines. The Tall Neck is such an exquisite set, with intricate building techniques and unique usage of parts that I can't help but wonder what a Thunderjaw would look like, for example. At this point, it kind of feels like the hard work's been done with the design, and surely it's just a matter of time before we see some more, right? I mean, come on LEGO, give me what I want. Moving back to the game, overall, LEGO Horizon Adventures is a strange game. It's a modernised throwback to a series that flooded the market in the early 2010s. It's a fun family game with drop-in-and-out couch co-op and an easily altered level of difficulty. Has a kid-friendly retelling of a solid Sony exclusive narrative, and it feels like this has been designed as something of a gateway into PlayStation franchises. It really works. There are plenty of in-jokes and references, as you'd expect, that Horizon fans will appreciate, while still feeling accessible to newcomers. My only real criticism is that the adventures in the game's title do start to blend into one by the final sections, but even with this, I was still having a ton of fun, up to the point where I had to start my write-up. Just, please, LEGO, give us some actual sets.
Give me what I want!
Thank you for joining us, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please do drop us a like, leave us a comment down below, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We might have some more LEGO Horizon Adventures content coming very soon. It just depends on whether we've got the time to get it all sorted at the moment. But let us know, do you want to see some more LEGO sets themed around Horizon? Because I know that's the thing that I want the most at the moment from everything around this game. But until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.